Hello, my name is Sergio Hernandez, and I will be doing the video portion of my Biology 240 Anatomy Physiology class. And today I'm going to talk about how to digitally label a slide on Google Draw, and we're going to walk through that. So let's take a look. I do this on my computer, so we're going to start from the very beginning. This is the portal site, and we're going to go ahead and start from the actual assignment. So you got to go ahead and click on the lab assistant portion. Go ahead and open it. Once it opens up, it's going to open up on a Word format. These are the slides that we have to. We're going to go ahead and do the very first one, the pituitary gland. So first go ahead and enable it, which allows you to go ahead and make any edits, anything like that for labeling. The first thing you got to do is I got to download this so I can work with it. So what I end up doing, go ahead and left click it. That goes ahead, that lets you work on this specific slide. Now, if you right click it, you're going to go ahead and save picture as. I go ahead and save this to my actual drive here along with all my other pictures. And I'm going to go ahead and call this the pituitary. So just go ahead and just give it a title so you can work with it. Pituitary. And then you're going to go ahead and save it. It's already saved on my thing from my assignment. So you would click save and it's going to go ahead and save it on here. And then we'll start from there. So if you hit slave, in this situation I'm going to X out, but it's already saved. So you're going to X that out. Now we're going to go ahead and work with Google Draw. So go ahead and minimize this. And I got my Google Draw saved down here. Go ahead and click on that. And we're going to start a new picture. This is something I worked on in the past. So go to File, and you're going to go ahead and go to New, a new drawing. This opens this up. And if you go on over here, you're going to upload an image, upload it from my computer. And let's go over here to Pictures again. And if I go down here, where's my pituitary slide? Adrenal, ovary, I see everything. Oh, here we go. So this is now it's on here, so we can do a few things from here. The very first thing I want to do is make it a little bit bigger. So I want to go ahead and crop it and get rid of all of this negative space. So if you click on the crop part right here, it now sees it outlines it in this black box. So go ahead and hover over the end so you can get the tab where you can see and go right and left. And just minimize and get rid of all this white space here and this negative space so you can enlarge the picture. So do this on all four quadrants. And in my situation, it's just the right and the left. Now, if you click outside the box, it's done, and you can go ahead and the picture's been cropped. Now it's surrounded in this blue frame. We can go ahead and make it a little bit bigger, so when you put it over, you can actually see it a little bit better, okay? So the slide's a little bit bigger there, and you can work with it obviously a lot better. So some of the things you can do, click out here, and now it's ready to label. What we're going to go ahead and do is label a few things, a few cells here, like acetophils and basophils and whatnot. So if we come over here to the text box, it's right here and it's surrounded. If you hover over it, it says text box and has a little T in it. If you click on that, you can go ahead and create a little box for text. So push the corner, which would be the upper left-hand corner, and create a box however big you wanted to make it. You can also go ahead and mess with the font, you can also the size. So in this case, I usually do about an 18. So the very first thing is going to be a pituitary nucleus. So if we go ahead and label this thing, we're going to go ahead and shift pituitary nucleus. So we go ahead and, as you see here, you can go ahead and play with the box so it all fits. Nucleus, oh, I misspelled it, didn't I? Nucleus, there we go. So you can go ahead and let me try to get it all to fit in one label there. So this is where you're going to go ahead. Now let's open up another text box and let's do the next one, which should be the basophil. So we're going to put the basophil, since the basophils are right about here. Let's put another box here. Let's change this up again to 18. And this is going to be my basophil. Basophil, I believe is spelled like that. So So let's just clean this up a little bit. You can go ahead and play with the box to get it down to size. Let's create another box, and let's put this box over here because the acetyl are over here, and I don't want, because I put little arrows and I'm going to show you that in a second, and it looks kind of weird if you crisscross all the arrows and it just looks kind of like a mess. So I try to think where my arrows are going to point so I can make it at least look a little more presentable. So my next one's going to be an acetyl cell. Acetyl cell. So there you go. Those are my 3 boxes that I need to label in this specific slide. So now if you come over here, this is, you can do arrows, you can do different weird options here, but let's just do lines to make it really easy. So in this situation, we're going to do a pituitary nucleus, and that's going to be, we got to find a pituitary, so let's right about here. So if you wanted to draw an arrow, you would simply click, you see the 4 little dots, so click if you're making it from here or if you're making an arrow up here. In this situation, we want it, here's to point there, so you would point there, and then you hover over, it's got a little X over where you want to actually point at, and you would click that. Now, you can go ahead and play with the color in this situation, and let's make it lighter so it's easier to see. You can also make it thicker if you wanted to. You can make it real thick. Gives you all those options, and then this would be the tips, the line end. So this is what you're pointing at. We can use an arrow tip, you can use a dot if you're kind of talking about a bigger space. In this situation, we're being specific, so we're gonna put a tip on it, a little arrow tip, and you give it a little bit of color. Now the basophil cells, you can also draw another arrow. So in this situation, let's say right about here. You're going to click that. And also, if you want to distinguish the two, I kind of like to alternate my colors, which lets me make it a little more obvious, you know, that it's not, you know, having to do with the other one. And your acetyl. So let's point acetyl cells. Got some right in here. So let's just point at this fella right here. So you're going to go ahead and point, and let's go ahead and change that color again. And then now here we go. So we're labeled. You got some arrows, and it's obviously ready to go ahead and post onto your actual lab assistant. So what you do here is you go back up here to File. You're ready to go. If you wanted to actually name the slide, you can also do that. There's other little options. You can go ahead and play with all these little options to, you know, do a little more. You can make your arrows curve around if you want them to curve around something. There's, you know, angles. So go up here to File, and you're going to go ahead and download as. So download it as a JPEG, and that it basically turns it into a picture for you, and you're going to go ahead and open it, and that's your final product. So you go ahead and right-click it, and you're going to copy this, so you can go ahead and paste it. Now we can go ahead and go back to your word paper over here, which should be here. Click on that. So now this is what we originally worked on. So the picture's on here. If you don't delete the actual picture, you can paste it. It's going to put 2 pictures in there. So since you got the little outline and you're still working on this little box, go ahead and delete it. Now it's gone. So you're going to go ahead and right-click and paste your picture. It's a little big, so you have to go ahead and downsize it. Do a left click on the picture, and it puts it in a box, as you can see. So click on this corner right here until you have your little directional arrows, and then just slide it down until it fits. So you can go really, really, really small, or kind of just size it in there the best you can. There you go, without, you know, making it too obvious, and then let go. And there it is. So you can also, if you wanted to, you can make it a little wider, you know, a little more narrow. What you can do whatever you want to go ahead. And then if you click outside, there it is. So it's going to be loaded on, and then you would go ahead and do that for your next slide, and so on. So that is how you'd go ahead and use Google Draw, which works for me, and I'm no computer genius. And that's how I do it. So there you go. That's how you label a slide on Google Draw. Thank you very much.